Well, girls, it's looking like it ain't going to be a Pratt Boys summer after all. So, if you'll join me and the bellhops at Hotel Bel Air in quoting everybody's favorite Ariana Grande song, thank you. Next.
Welcome to Political Playlist.
All right, are we ready, guys?
Happy Hour.
Happy hour.
We fucked that up so bad.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Political Playlist Happy Hour. I'm Michael Kristoff.
I'm Anna Muskie-Goldwyn.
I'm Anthony Barquette.
Oh, that
Well,
was a good
breaking news as we are heading on the air, folks. They are calling the Los Angeles mayor's race in a runoff in November between Karen Basura and Nithya Raman. And that, of course, leaves odd man out, Spencer Prattster.
So does this mean now he's going to move like he said he was?
Well, that is a great question. If I'm a betting man, and I tend to be, I think he's going to hunker right down here in LA and film a reality show.
Yeah.
And maybe become a commentator on Fox
Well, he
News
already has been
or
filming a reality
something.
show.
Yeah. Oh, he ain't going anywhere.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's a really good idea. And let's face it, despite how this process has been, there's multiple layers where you can claim that there's, you go, okay, I can see potential fraud there, like every voting system. And I think he's going to do that.
He's going to do that.
very
Can I just say, though,
bright-
like, everyone should go to I recorded a video on why California's vote count takes so long. And people should watch it because I think that what needs to be said, as there are now going to inevitably be claims of voter fraud because that's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
The way that California counts its votes is so incredibly stringent. And that is why it takes so long, because the state makes it very easy to vote, which, yes, leaves room for fraud, but they also make it very hard for each vote to be counted.
Yes.
So,
and I think two people who have done some really good reporting on this, friend of the playlist, Alex Michelson on CNN, has done some great reporting.
You don't like my reporting?
Well, it's good. It's good. It's good.
It's
good. It's good. It's good. Alex just has a few more Emmys at the moment.
I understand.
That will all change in due course. And then the other guy who did a great video on this, which we should post or reshare, is Jacob Soboroff of MS Now. He actually went down to the main LA ballot counting center where you can go as an observer. Anybody can go. In fact, they encourage people to show up and like see the process. And he was with the county. It was like the controller or somebody, or the registrar.
The comptroller, isn't the comptroller the one that does all the counting stuff?
Sounds official. And it was a very good interview. And Anna, you're absolutely right that this whole process is actually really it enables people who are eligible to vote in a variety of means, and it also is incredibly stringent in terms of verifying those votes. And in fact, the few reports so far of voter fraud. Did I send you guys this video?
Yeah. Well, you sent it. Michael has. I just wanted to give everyone a little BTS here. Yeah. Michael has a tendency to just, from his personal account, flood our Political Playlist Instagram DM box with videos. And it is, I put together today, I was like, oh, this is like full behavior of a middle-aged man on Facebook of just like, hey, check out this video I saw. Hey, check out this video I saw.
Yep. I just assume people read it and check our messages. I don't know. It's not, I don't check them. So who's to say? But interestingly enough, we've obviously heard the talking point now from the president on down to many Republicans who are crying foul, crying fraud, saying this is ridiculous. Pratt was second. Now he's losing and now has lost to Nithya. This is bullshit. And in fact, the element or the events, the few findings of fraud, few incidences so far have been of Republicans coming in from Arizona. So I think
What is it
that
with Arizona?
is just incredibly, the irony is incredibly rich there.
Yeah.
But we are not talking about the mayor race today, gang. We are going to discuss how to talk about the UFC
Dun,
fight
dun, dun,
on the White
dun.
House
Is there a
lawn.
UFC like theme song that we should know?
There might
There
be.
must be like a jingle, right?
But I don't know it offhand because I have something called a life. However, there are
not
many
anti-UFC, I'll just say
people who you like UFC.
I do think that they are extraordinary athletes. Like I think that the people who do UFC are talented. It's a
little like bro-cal for me. I gotta say.
What does that mean?
Like
explain more of that.
Bro-cal?
I feel like every time I'm down in, and I'm going to just totally generalize, a huge part of Southern California, San Diego.
Everyone
I feel like
watch out.
many times when I am down in San Diego, out at the bars, there's just the SoCal bro-cal covered in tats, drives a big pickup truck, and just is brimming with like testosterone.
Yeah, it's a very high tea environment.
Yeah, that are just like ready to go.
I like a high tea environment.
Feels like a direct attack to me. But,
everything is like
bro-cal.
2 tequila sips away from a fight, and it's like, guys, just chill out.
I mean, you're describing my perfect evening.
Do you not feel that the world is 2 tequila sips from a
say
fight right now?
I'm 2 sips away.
Everyone I'm talking to is on edge right now.
Well, listen, I love parts of San Diego, such as Rancho Santa Fe, where I was recently. However, to the Mission Beach area, sometimes they get a little intense for my liking.
Before we isolate too much of our audience in Southern California.
Yeah, but we love you all. We love you all. Yeah.
Let's talk about the UFC fight that is slated to take place this Sunday, which also just coincidentally happens to be Donald Trump's birthday at
how about
the
that?
White House.
And how old is he? 106 now, or does he just
like
look
that.
106? Okay,
I think he's about 106.
Yeah.
So this was Trump's idea.
Yeah.
Shocking. Originally, Dana White, who is a friend of Trump's and the head of UFC organization, thought that Trump meant like, hey, let's do like an exhibition fight somewhere in the White House, sort of like a fun, intimate engagement. And then Trump was like,
like in the East Ballroom?
Yeah, maybe.
What?
And then Trump was like, no, we're going to have it on the South Lawn. And so they have built this structure, which I can't say it without breaking a laugh, called the Claw, that was built in Belgium and shipped to Philly and then trucked to DC.
What?
And the press
So not even American made? Then
where are the
Democrats who should be ripping on this, by the way?
That's great.
It's not even American made.
Wait, how is this not the headline? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. We got to rail on Belgium. So it was trucked to DC, and the press conference for this event and the weigh-ins are planned to take place at the Lincoln Memorial, which I just think is insane.
Kind of cool.
And I mean, it's cool, but it's like you're gonna have a bunch of these, like as Michael says, these bro-cal tatted fighters just like marching up the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. So the crazy thing about this event is that the organization putting it on, which is called TKO, is going to lose about $30 million on the event. So this isn't about turning a profit. The strategy here is about exposure, and particularly exposure as it relates to everyone's least known and least favorite streaming platform, Paramount Plus. So Paramount Plus has a $7.7 billion deal with the UFC.
It really is all tied together. I love this.
Quite literally is a subscriber acquisition event.
Anna, are we doing like Anna's first conspiracy theory rabbit hole here?
Well, I'm about to get into even more conspiracy theory.
Okay.
This is also, some might say, an attempt to cuddle up with Trump so that he can help Paramount's $111 billion merger with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is currently under regulatory review by the Trump Department of Justice. Now, a lot of the concern about this deal, as some people listening may or may not know, is that this merger could potentially violate antitrust laws. And entertainment unions are against the merger, saying it will decrease job opportunity. There is a petition of over 5,500 people in Hollywood against the idea. California and New York are exploring legal options to challenge the merger. And in Congress, there was a letter led by Elizabeth Warren and a bunch of other people in Congress scrutinizing the merger. And as we all know, Elizabeth Warren is a very big antitrust warrior, you might say. Yeah. So all of this is happening as the very company that is undergoing regulatory scrutiny in Trump's Department of Justice is hosting a UFC event that is going to boost Trump's ego and curry favor with the administration. So don't call me a conspiracy theorist, but I would say that those are some coincidences.
Well,
I think honestly, well done.
I think a nice little wrinkle to add into that is super agent, which many people will know as Ari Gold, but is Ari Emanuel, who owns TKO, or is one of the CEO of TKO and also WME, the William Morris Endeavor Entertainment. And he is, of course, brother of Rahm Emanuel, former chief of staff to Obama and Chicago
potential
mayor,
presidential candidate.
And, well, absolutely presidential candidate. Did you see him? He was biking around New Hampshire over the weekend holding rallies. Yes.
Really? Oh,
yeah, it was actually kind of great. It was like a very, like, you know, like middle-aged Jewish guy thing to do. Like, I'm going to cycle around, like dad out of Brentwood. Like, I'm going to cycle around New Hampshire. And
it's a very low T activity, actually.
Yeah. Well, but you have to be pretty athletic. And let me tell you something. Rahm is combative. I would take Rahm in a fight over these UFC guys. Let me tell you. But in any event, I think what is so interesting, and I think maybe a good place to begin here, aside from the fact that I personally think this is just one of the more outrageous things that could be happening at the White House. I think that this takes White House events to just a whole white trash level. But
wow, Michael's getting some haters from this episode.
Guys, I'm hot today. I feel so strongly about this. But I think what's interesting is, okay, so we've talked a lot about how Trump has played into this masculine white male energy. He's really gone after these young men. We saw in all the stats that the college age kids, these bros are going for Trump, the manosphere. This feels like the moment that we say in Hollywood where he is jumping the shark. Do you guys think that this is ultimately the sort of peak Trump masculinity and it's all downhill from here? Or do you think that politically he's actually going to gain something out of this and there's going to be some sort of, you know, I don't know, call it a political wave that he's going to ride from this?
I actually wish they did this over July 4th. And did it on the mall, like maybe during this whole 250th celebration.
Instead of all the musicians they're not going to have.
Well, I want to get to that. Keep going on that, Anthony, because I think that's a really interesting point.
You know, what you guys probably don't realize, but my birthday's this weekend, and
we know,
and Donald Trump's is as well. So
wow.
Different days, though.
By one.
You were born 1 year. You were born 1 day apart.
Yeah, and
how many years apart?
Wait, I need Anthony to repeat what he just said. Anthony has to repeat what he just said because you didn't hear it, Michael.
I said it's kind of crazy we're 1 day apart because we'll both be presidents of the United States one day. But but so
I'm sorry for interrupting you, Mr. President.
And frankly, I think this is a group, UFC, and I mean just the events and everything that Trump's gone to, and a lot of these people have respected him, have voted for him, and I think have, you know, come to be an ally for him. But putting yourself on the UFC side, I mean, this is so big for their industry, and kind of knowing how Trump is, he probably was like, yeah, why don't you do something on the White House lawn? And Dana White's like, yeah, that actually sounds amazing.
Totally.
Because let's not forget, UFC was banned from many cable systems. Remember, like politicians used to call this human cockfighting.
Being too
Major
violent.
venues wouldn't host events, and now they're the only event that will ever be like professionally hosted on the White House lawn. I'm from a UFC standpoint, it's quite momentous, and I think it's really awesome for them. And if I was in Dana White's shoes, I'd do the exact same thing.
Yeah, to answer your question, Michael, and to go off of that, I don't even think it's going to register politically, if I'm being honest. I think that like people are going to make a big deal of it. There's going to be a couple days where the left is going to be like, look how stupid this is. And the right is going to be like, rah, 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 manhood. And it's not going to have any effect on the way that Trump is perceived in the long term or whatever. But I think that the winners of all of this are the UFC organization, because it's creating a whole new talking point for them. It might be creating a new audience for them. And certainly it's going to increase their viewership on Paramount Plus. And I think that
shows how far they've come as an organization, which is really impressive.
Kelly, like you're talking about UFC as if it's like this like beautiful like nonprofit that's been born out of the ashes.
No, but I just mean like this was something that DC was against.
No,
right?
totally. I'm with you. I think it's like a really smart business move. And I don't know if you were going to bring this up, Anthony, but there was a video of a UFC. There's been a couple UFC fighters that have spoken out against this, and we can get to that. But one of the things that one of the fighters said was, he was like, I think that this is really stupid that it's happening, but I am all for UFC doing it and getting the publicity. Like if you have the opportunity, he's like, I think the opportunity is dumb, but if someone's going to give you the opportunity, take it. And I think that from a business standpoint, I don't think that there's really going to be any big benefit or drawback for Trump. I think that it's going to benefit UFC. It's going to benefit David Ellison, who now runs Paramount, and it's going to benefit the Paramount Plus platform.
Yeah.
So
well, can I also just say one more thing onto that? And then Michael, sorry to interrupt, but like,
it's okay, Mr. President.
Logistically, this is nuts.
It's insane.
You know, I never even thought that you could build something like this structure on the White House lawn, right? With security requirements, weather concerns. You know, we have a temporary structure going up that I just found out, that's news to me, that was built in another country.
Yeah.
I would say maybe there are cameras there, but
that's,
you know,
the
like
headline,
right?
Yeah.
Like, and just like issues that have gone on in like White House with the, you know, we have these shooters that have happened. Like,
right. Security
to be able to put
insane.
on.
Wait,
that's
can
where
I just,
I'm like, it just should have gone with the July 4th.
But let me add one really
mall.
funny thing to that, and then Michael, you can make.
Oh, great! Do I get to speak soon?
No,
never.
Sorry, because
never.
this has to do exactly with what Anthony's saying, which is that one of the big concerns they have are the gnats, like the bugs.
Oh, the worst in DC
like,
too.
They're basically like,
wow,
like they're saying like Dana White is essentially like, yeah, like, you know, we're worried about rain and stuff like that, but we're also just worried about the bugs because we're worried that everyone's going to get eaten alive by black gnats.
Wow. I never thought about that.
Anyway, sorry, Michael.
So
well, I mean, I'm listening to what everything you guys are saying about, oh my God, this is so amazing for UFC, Dana White, look at this organization. And I think that this actually epitomizes this messaging that we're starting to see from Democrats. And we're going to get into it in an episode later this week when we talk about the politician on our playlist, which is, here is an oligarchy that doesn't give a fuck about you. And when I referenced that, oh, this is like jumping the shark, I actually think we're going to look back at the UFC fight on the White House lawn as a real turning point in the public perception and persona of Trump. I think it's all downhill for this administration from here. And here's why. I think that this is Trump trash to the fullest extent on display on the White House lawn. You have a boxing match. You have people fighting on the lawn of the White House of the United States of America. There's going to be rowdy people drinking beer. This is going to be just an absurd gladiator match on the people's house. And I think that the amount of ads that this is going to yield for Democrats and anti-Trump Republicans alike is going to be in spades. And I think what ultimately, if there are effective messengers out there, how you're going to use this is look at this party that Trump is throwing for all of his rich friends, and you're not invited. And he's not fixing healthcare for you, and he's not doing tariffs for you, and he's not making gas cheaper, and he's not making groceries more affordable. And meanwhile, he is partying his ass off on the lawn of the White House at your expense. And
I mean, it is his birthday. It is his birthday.
Exactly. This is like, he might as well be having a party on a yacht in the Mediterranean.
Sure.
This is how out of touch he is.
I think that's a really good point. The key thing that I was nodding my head at when you said that, though, is you were saying if there's an effective messenger, it's like we need.
I agree.
There does have to be a collective understanding of the business politics behind this in order for people to understand this isn't about. Because what they're framing it as is this is a patriotic event, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures of the claw. Like, it's the red, white, and blue. Like,
the claw.
I will say I showed it to my French teacher that I do Zoom French lessons with because she didn't know it was happening. And I showed it to her. And the shock and disgust on her face and that Trump had compared to the Eiffel Tower. I don't know if you guys saw that. That he was saying
I did. Yeah, I did.
To the Eiffel Tower. She was like on the verge of tears. She was so disgusted by it. But I think to your point, it's like there does need if Democrats want to seize on how ridiculous this is. And by the way, by saying that UFC is making good business decision, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that I agree with this happening. I think it's horrible.
Totally.
But I think that if you're a business and the president of the United States says, I'm going to give you a stage, you do it, right?
You take it, yeah.
But I think that if there are people out there, and I think that some of the young Democrats we cover should be these people to say, hey, this is what your taxpayer dollars, this is what the attention of the administration is going towards. And as you said, it's not going towards any of these other things. I just don't know that I have confidence that in the mess of everything going on, those messengers or messages are going to coherently break through.
But let's get back to the business of this for a sec, because on the one hand, yes, I agree that as the owner and CEO of UFC, Dana White has a fiduciary interest to the company to do what is in that company's interest. I also think that if this was a Democratic president who he didn't support, this would be a very different conversation.
Totally.
So I think that, like, where I think that I fault him as a shitty CEO and a shitty American, because I think what he should have done was say, hey, this is a great idea. Let's do this in conjunction with the 250th celebration, and let's do it on the Washington
on the mall, make it public.
Or let's do it right.
Yeah.
Let's do it somewhere that's celebrating America. And I think when we look at this 250th anniversary celebration, birthday celebration, I think that more and more people are feeling like the Trump administration, and I'm hearing this a lot from Republicans as well, that they have totally bungled this. They have bungled the easy layup of a political win that this is. And they have events that are being canceled. They have artists pulling out. They have failed celebrations. They had a whole entertainment media thing where they had a fund that was going to create content, shows, movies, podcasts, etc. I actually talked to the State Department about this, and where'd all that money go? It actually got immediately shut down when we started a war with Iran.
You talked to the State Department without
I did.
us?
Yes, I did.
It's about time Michael did something.
Trying to get us money. Yeah.
No.
I didn't tell you because they shut it down.
You didn't want to admit your failure?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of a failure. Yeah.
And unfortunately, the issue is this feels just more like a Trump event than it does an
this
America
is a Trump
event.
rally.
Well, it should have been an event thrown by Congress.
Right.
Yeah, and not around his birthday. And I don't know Dana White personally, but hey,
well, he's a fucking asshole.
No, I think the issue is like he was probably sitting there with the president, and you're just like, thrown out an idea like this. And
No,
they're
I'm
like, yeah,
saying
we should
Dana
do it.
White
And
is a
they're like,
notorious asshole.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I don't
I
think
mean,
that Dana White is
I
like
don't-
known for
yeah.
his bedside manner. You
No.
don't become, but I think, can I just make a point?
By the way,
going
I
back
just-
to, sorry,
sure.
go ahead. No, you go.
I just want to say, and like, there's a part of me that does disagree with you, Michael, here of how it will be looked. I think that's very smart that you said, like, especially on the Democratic side, they're going to use this to their advantage and like publicize it in a negative way. But like, to me, UFC is an American-born sport, and he's hosting an American-born sport on the lawn, which has never been done before. And Trump loves to do things that have never been done before. You know, so to me, once again, even more for a July 4th event, that would be good. My biggest qualm with this, and this happened when Obama did Obamacare, was everyone found out that the website was done by a Canadian group. The fact that I just looked this up to check on Anna, the fact that this structure was built.
Me?
I wanted to double check because to me, that's a big issue. If I was president, I'd be like,
Right.
you're building.
It's also insane.
That's an outrageous
jobs.
issue.
I want it should have been built on the lawn with American workers who have been laid off from something else. I don't know.
Yes.
Like, maybe from the tariffs.
Well, by the way,
all the horrendous economy.
Shipped to Philadelphia, which is in Pennsylvania, one of the like stalwart manufacturing states of the country.
Right. I would have been like, I don't care if it costs double.
Disgrace.
You're getting it done in the U.S. And by the way, you're bearing the cost because you're going to be the first event that's ever been held on the White House lawn. So by the way, if you're going to lose 30 million, you might lose 60 million doing this. But
I just have to make one last ditch effort to try and beg our listeners to say that character matters. And I think that, like, when I look at, first of all, I've been to a boxing match at the MGM Grand in Vegas. It was one of the most electric sporting events I've ever seen live. I had great seats and it was very fun. I don't think that it is appropriate to have one man beating the absolute shit out of another man on the lawn of the White House for all of the kids in America to see. I think that this is exhibit 1001 of just absolute poor behavior modeling that we continue to see from this president. And it starts with how he treats female journalists. It starts with how he conducts himself in his personal life, and it extends to just about every facet of the White House. And now, as the country celebrates its 250th anniversary, we now have to show children and also the world, like your French teacher, what Americans prioritize most, which is an ass beating on the lawn of the White House. And I think that is so disgusting and disgraceful. And honestly, I'm just embarrassed. There's no other word for it for me besides embarrassing.
I completely agree with you. And I would want to add to that this is coming from a presidential administration where he has had multiple assassination attempts on his life, where there is a rhetoric of political violence that he does not seem so interested in tampering down. And to Anthony's point at the beginning of the podcast, everyone being 2 tequila shots away from wanting to beat the shit out of each other, like this, when you say the behavior modeling and sort of how ridiculous it is, it's sad because we see examples of political violence, actual violence, violent language needing to be reduced. And look, you're like,
so right. Yeah.
You going to the boxing match, it's like, I fucking love watching fighting. I think it's amazing. I think it's like one of the most athletic sports that you can do. But I think that is not the way to address the way that people feel right now, which is on the verge of violence.
Right.
We are all on the verge of our own version of violence right now. And I think, to your point about behavior modeling, to the idea of the assassination attempts on the president that have happened as recently as a couple weeks ago, Like, why not create something that feels joyful and that feels unifying and that feels like what we're supposed to be celebrating, the 250th anniversary, and not celebrating violence? Well, if you enjoyed this conversation, please follow or subscribe wherever you are listening or watching this podcast. And tune back in on Thursday when we're going to talk about the politician on our playlist.
And remember,
else, boys?
don't fight your friends and neighbors.